Hello all, welcome to AI Educator. In this video, let us discuss about perceptron. A single artificial neuron is called as a perceptron. As we have learned earlier, the perceptron was inspired from the biological neuron. The perceptron has three major parts: input, activation function, and output. Data is sent through input, which works similar to the dendrites in the biological neuron. Activation function performs the nonlinear operations on the input, which works similar to the cell body in biological neuron. The output will receive and display the results of activation function, which works similar to the axon in the biological neuron. Now let us look into the history of perceptron. Perceptron was created by Frank Rosenblatt in the year 1958 at Cornell Aeronautical Laboratory in United States. In 1958, they physically made a perceptron with an array of 400 photocells as you can see in this picture. This was the perceptron, the first artificial neuron that could recognize images with a 20 cross 20 pixel camera. Now let us look into the working of perceptron. Perceptron takes the data as an input, then assign a random weight to the input. Here, the weight can be considered as a priority or an importance. Then, the summation of input is multiplied with the weights and added with a bias B is sent to an activation function. Here, bias is a constant used to balance the equation. Now, the activation function will give us an output. In mathematical terms, let us consider the x1 and x2 as our inputs and w1, w2 as our weights and b as a bias. Now the equation z will be x1 w1 plus x2 w2 plus b. This z will be sent to the activation function. Now the activation function will give us an output which is y hat. The output of perceptron is always binary. It is either 0 or 1. The output of perceptron will be 0 if the output of activation function is less than or equals to 0, and the output of perceptron will be 1 if the output of activation function is greater than 0. The perceptron can be used for binary classification. In the next video, let us learn about multi-layered perceptron.